Greetings, everyone. How are we all feeling out there today? Let's jump right into today's divinely guided rune reading of Mercury in Scorpio. This is some deep transformative energies here, some very deep transformative in the intellectual realm type of energies here from October 13th to November 2nd is when this occurs, and it's typically that light analytical approach, and it deepens into profound and transformative intellectual type of experiences. So we're going to dive into the aspects more of this Mercury in Scorpio energies for the collective and for you personally. Please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If you'd like a one-on-one rune reading with me personally, you can contact me at youressentialpractice@gmail.com or youressentialpractice.com as well for these rune sets and any rune jewelry that you see on the set. All right, so jumping right in here, we have Othala. This is beautiful stuff here with Othala in our energetic past. This is having us working on our legacies, our foundations. Okay, so Othala is that inheritance. So what does inheritance mean to you? Does it mean money? Does it mean a religious practice? Does it mean some sort of tradition that you get to pass on through the generations? So this is really having us focusing in our foundations and what we get to leave behind. How are we standing firm in our resolve moving forward? So this is going to challenge us with that Mercury in Scorpio approaching. So in the now energies, in the now energy position, we have Fehu, the first rune of the Elder Futhark alphabet, which is what we are using on this channel. This is about wealth, money, cattle, abundance, responsibilities, right? As we incur more cattle, as we incur more wealth, so too do our responsibilities, our avenues, our potential for our investments, and also our greater potential for risk. So we are thinking about our abundance and how we relate to that. What is abundance to you? Is that abundance of love? Is that abundance of friendship? Just abundance of good energies? Abundance of having nice things? Or abundance of having nice energies? Really go inward to see how you value and relate to each of these energies. As we move forward into the the upcoming very near future energies, we have this thorn, or what is also called Therisas, in the future energies position. Therisas is that thorn. It's also known as Thor's hammer, and it's also known as the giant, like that giant hill or that giant mountain in our path that it needs to be fully overcome to continue the path, or that thorn that needs to be fully removed lest we risk infection, or that thorn in our side could be nagging us to be thorough in our actions, right? That Thor's hammer, lightning strikes true every time. So when this lightning strike, or this thorough hammer strike that you're moving into in the future, you're addressing energies in a very thoroughly, very thought out, very planned sort of way for you internally. So you're called to make this swift action. And this could either build or destroy. I also like to argue it can protect. This is a very, very powerful rune. So Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, right, could build, destroy, or protect. Moving forward, that choice is yours. And in your energies for the action taken for the best outcome position here, we have Dagas. Dagas is that rune of clarity. This is that moment outside of time, the aha moment where the hourglass is tipped on its side. This is also you emerging from your cocoon as that beautiful butterfly, the metamorphosis, transforming and transmuting the energies to your favor. So, action taken for the best outcome is to gain that clarity, have the temperance to move forward and transmute. Right. So, thoughts, feelings, and emotions very much in the energies here of Ewas. This is the U tree, the toughness, stability, the flexibility that we've gone over these last few rune readings, and this is more evident in our lives. So yes, this is going to be more evident in our thoughts, feelings, and emotions as we have been. This has been a pretty key rune here in the past few rune readings. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please look up the Jupiter retrograde in Gemini and the solar eclipse rune readings. So this is that flexibility, that tree being rooted in the ground and being able to be stable yet flexible enough to weather the storm, to flex with that wind. So the bow that the U branch was made into had to make successful killing shots over and over again, had to endure extreme climate changes, right? Wet and dry conditions, hot and cold. And you're also in the midst of these sorts of energies while we dive deep into how we communicate with others during this Mercury in retrograde energy. So Mercury in Scorpio energy, my apologies. So this is that theorisas, that swift action, moving towards clarity with your stability and flexibility in mind. This is a very wholesome way to be. This is a very good, grounded way to launch yourself. And so when I say grounded, this is what we also risk losing in this position here, is the urus, the ox. This is that natural vitality, that sure-footed progress, that gaining momentum and speed towards your goal, right? So when we're doing this in the fear aspect or in that ego stance, then we do risk losing this grounded sort of energy from the stability that's ever so much on our minds. When we make that swift action, make sure that we're doing this from the place of our foundations in the direction of that abundance, making sure we are thorough in the action so we can obtain this clarity, making sure we're stable and flexible at the same time. I know that's asking a lot for some of us, especially with what we've been going through recently. However, you could be called to get into more of your grounding work to help kind of shed off those energies that no longer serve you, or to help you recenter, refocus, and continue to be stable and flexible at the same time. Moving forward into the action that into the possible outcomes, what we have to look forward to. This is Kinas. Kinas is a fire energy. This is that Pac-Man energy, always wanting to move forward, right? This is that trailblazing manifestation type of energy. Kinas loves it when we are lighting the path for others. So too, when we light the path for others, do we light the path for ourselves? So this is huge manifestation energies. You're coming from this grounded place into creating new things. So make sure when you're doing this with this clarity and healthy ego steps, right? Always be checking in with yourself. You can always ask yourself these two questions that were originally translated from Sanskrit there. How are my thoughts useful? How am I feeling right now? And are my thoughts useful? So we can ask ourselves that while we're in this grounded and stable energy searching for this clarity. So this clarity, this aha moment, this epiphany, I really do believe has been catapulted to us from this eclipse energy, and then this Gemini retrograde into this Jupiter retrograde into Gemini aspect is, I have just so much to say, I'm tripping over my words, y'all, please bear with me. With that solar eclipse and the Jupiter retrograde, we're now gaining more clarity and depth of meaning into how we communicate and relate to others with this Mercury in Scorpio moving forward. So we do have that clarity, which is another fire rune right here. This is fire energy right here. This is earth energy. So this is also earth energy. Very much beautiful energies of being grounded, stable, and manifesting out on our paths, lighting the path for others, being of service to others is our service, like it's our niche. It's our individual responsibility to help lift up one another, right? We can't help every single person in the world, but every single person in the world can help one person. If we're doing that, acting in service of others, we naturally lift ourselves up and gain that clarity, moving forward with just that beautiful fire manifestation energy. Let's get a chakra token to move forward with our manifestation and meditation practices going through this Mercury and Scorpio energies. Y'all, if you want more information on the Mercury and Scorpio energy astrologically, there is more information down in the description box below. You are missing out on a wealth of information if you don't look at that description box below. All right, so 528 hertz solfeggio frequency for the solar plexus chakra. And it's located below the chest and above the navel. It is the center of our self-esteem, confidence, and personal identity. Anyone who is struggling to live authentically, has control issues, manipulative tendencies, or low self-esteem would be said to have a blocked solar plexus chakra. That 528 hertz also is a miracle tone. It is not the love frequency. It is a love frequency. And the 528 hertz works down to the molecular level, correcting our DNA, really doing a lot of beautiful healing work. Just look up some independent scientific research out there. I mean, don't just take my word for it. Okay, so the solar plexus chakra mantra is RAM, R-A-M. And the mudra is with our two hands. We can set it on our laps, but it's with the pinky and the middle finger extended, and we're touching the tips of our index, ring fingers, and thumbs together, resting it on our laps, and just thinking this beautiful yellow color emanating from the center of our abdomen, just below our rib cage there. Beautiful. While we're doing the mantra Ram, listening to 528 hertz, let's go get some tarot cards now for the major arcana to further clarify the message here for you. For Athala, we have the Moon card, and the Moon card in the major arcana is of hidden lore and dark secrets, and humanity has seen fear in the darkness. It casts shadows and doubt. Our minds create monsters for where none exist. The moon, especially when it is full, acts as a flashlight, illuminates the recesses of places just enough to see. However, the light isn't bright enough, especially during an eclipse. In this image, the forces of good and shadow clash together. The light is doing its best to protect the delicate rose, while the shadow side seems to be more assertive and overpowering. Yeah. In your foundations, that's where you're supposed to be moving from in the light as we move forward in our truth. Beautiful, divinely guided steps, y'all. Let's go forward with Fehu, and that's going to be the Tower card. The Tower teaches us to manage our expectations and get rid of old patterns, thoughts, and habits that don't satisfy us in the present. It's a power card that can transform you and help you get ready for the next stage of what is to come. It is the most destructive card in the major arcana. Wow. So, being this with our minds on our money and our money on our minds, right? This could really wrap us up in that ego. So be careful while we're investing in our abundance, while we're focusing on those aspects and responsibilities of ours, the things that no longer serve us naturally fall off. Don't get wrapped up into it so much that you get tied to this tower and you get destroyed with it, and see all these riches down at the bottom where this could be you, but this is also the past failures in which you do get to eventually build your new tower up with this swift and thorough action moving forward. And we have the Emperor card for Theresas in that forward future very near energies. Thor is the son of Odin and is the god of thunder and protection. He represents the archetype of loyalty and commitment. He defends Asgard from the giants and other creatures who want to take the land from Aesir. Thor is the strongest warrior in the pantheon. His belt gives him extra strength, and his hammer, Mjolnir, brings lightning down as well. He makes the perfect emperor for the runic tarot. Yeah, Thor's hammer, Theresos, that swift, thorough action, the emperor energy, being just, knowing your truth, moving forward in that conviction. Beautiful, swift energies here. While we transmute with temperance in the action taken for the best outcome position. Temperance is a complex card. It represents the act of moderation and the art of blending two things to create a third item. The sky in this card shows how balance between the light and the dark is struck. In the Norse mythology, Sif was the wife of Thor. She was known for the harvests and the wealth that came with them from their bounties. Tending to the land not only provides for life, but it is also a delicate balance between growth and fallow periods. Sif knew the best time to plant and rotate the crops for the most effective bounties with that clarity moving forward. Yeah, having that balance with the light and dark, knowing these energies leads to the clarity of how to best plant these seeds, how to best make these actions to reap that harvest, all those tasks, right? To move forward in our clarity. So this is beautiful. Let's go into Iowa's. That will be the Hanged Man for this card. The Hanged Man in tarot appears upside down. Usually they're hung by one foot with a rope or vine that connects them to a tree. While this would seem like a painful state of being, the Hanged Man does not seem to be in any pain. They understand that their sacrifice gains new knowledge and perceptions, like that clarity. The Hanged Man represents the aspect of sacrifice to gain understanding. In the runic tarot, the Norse god representing glory in all activities shows off his talents by flipping mid-air in what we would call an extreme sporting activity. So yeah, the Hanged Man, this moment of this flexibility, needing to sway with it, it isn't something that we have to do or a task that is befallen to us. This is something we get to do. This is an opportunity. And while we're in this period of waiting and gathering for this clarity, why not have a little bit of fun doing it? The Hanged Man's just chilling out in the original tarot decks like the Rider-Waite-Smith. But this one has a better depiction, I believe, where the Hanged Man, yeah, he knows he is in this period of waiting, so he might as well practice on his other skills in the meantime. So that's beautiful. Moving forward, we have the Priestess in the Urus, the what we get to risk losing or what we have to look out for with the High Priestess here. A prophecy woman were one of the names given to women who practice the art of Seor in the Viking cultures. This is a form of magic where the practitioner casts spells using many different ingredients and chant their intentions, also known as Galder. One way to learn the meanings of the runes is to repeat each rune's names repeatedly. This is a form of Galder that reinforces their intonation and acts as a form of a spell. It becomes more potent when you combine saying the name of each rune while drawing the symbol in the air with your fingers. As Aldhumbla, is a divine creature and a mortal cow of the primordial times. It's Seoknona. Let me retry that name. It is Seokona that has called her back to the world in order to nourish it and provide for its fortune. So this is the act of that gaining knowledge, that healing, the going back to the roots, the beginnings of what we know, and gaining that momentum that with that clarity moving forward. So we do have that grounded stability, that our roots of our knowledge, our roots of our experience, we do have that possibility to be rid of that in our lives, like this Othala, this is inheritance foundation. That's kind of like that energy, right? If we are not addressing these energies in healthy ways, yeah, we do risk losing that. So moving forward is the Chariot for the best possible outcome in this rune reading. And this is awesome energy, everyone. This is one of my favorite cards in the whole tarot. Freya is the goddess of war and the queen of the Valkyries. It may seem too good to be true to see her riding a chariot on this card, but she did ride across the sky in a chariot drawn by two giant cats. Freya was also said to be married to Odin, depending on which stories you've read. She is the closest goddess to the power to that of Odin. As such, she was constantly on the go and faced with many challenges. Yeah, so you're going to gain this experience with this clarity, this stability moving forward, your sense of abundance, your sense of your legacy and your foundations on your mind, and go forward to move on to new developments, new adventures, new beautiful beginnings, new healing processes. And you can do so with the confidence and conviction of that solar plexus chakra, meditation, and healing. Again, I've been Eric Paulson with Your Essential Practice. If you'd like a rune reading from me personally, please contact me at youressentialpractice@gmail.com or youressentialpractice.com. Namaste. Have a blessed and abundant day.